Hi! Welcome back, everyone. If you're not aware, I am Silentpinkgamer, and we're back here with another Phasmophobia video. I couldn't wait, guys. I could not wait. I was super excited because, believe it or not, the idea for talking about each individual ghost in Phasmophobia was actually shout out to Stash Ghost. He was the one that recommended that I talk about the ghosts since it seems like I really like the game. So I was like, okay, sweet, yeah, let's do it. So as you on the screen is my actual gameplay, guys. Go check out my lives. That's where I played Phasmophobia on live. So yeah, go check them out, guys. These are the locations. I got them all unlocked on Phasmophobia because when I say the girl was grinding, she was grinding. She wanted to make sure that I had every location unlocked because in the end, I want to conquer every freaking location in Phasmophobia. I want to get to a point where I can identify each ghost using one piece of information. That's a challenge, and I want to do it. But what do you do? On the screen, I'll put a little description, little box of each ghost that I'm talking about. I'm not going to do them all because, as you know, there's over 20 ghosts in Phasmophobia. And let's be real, putting that in the video is gonna take a little while. But as you already know what to do, guys, we are here in the comments with pink hearts. And if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe to the channel today, guys. So let's get into the ghost. The very first ghost I have for you guys is a spirit. The spirit is the most common and traditional ghost type. In folklore, spirits are often souls, deceased individuals who remain bound to the mortal realm due to unresolved issues or sudden violent deaths, or strong emotional ties to a place or person. Phasmophobia's description aligns this, stating that they appear at one of their hunting grounds after unexplained deaths. And I'll go a little further in putting even the three pieces of evidence for the ghost that you will need on the screen. Now, if I can't find them all due to picture wise, it's okay. To each his own, right, guys? I will do my best to put little stuff on there on the screen, and I will also find a picture of a real spirit taking. Hopefully I can find old photos. Like, guys, I've always been interested in old photos. They're so creepy, but they're so cool. And yes, there are signs of real spirit entities. So that's the actual information of a spirit. As you guys remember from my last Phasmophobia video, go check that one out. That one should be out before this one, where I was talking about how the Phasmophobia initially just put, like, I think a generic 4 or 5, maybe 6 generic figures of ghosts, and then that's kind of just it. Now, I also stated that they should be updating the game. Hopefully they update the character models for these ghosts, because they're trying to hypothetically, allegedly create a movie about Phasmophobia. And let's be real, guys, if you're gonna do any type of ghost that has a specific look or have a specific characteristic, we have to get their character model correct. I know that's a lot of animating, but hey, guys, we could do this, right? So that's a spirit, okay? So the next one on the list is Wraith. Often described as one of the most dangerous ghost types in Phasmophobia, it's a traditional lore. Wraiths are the embodiment of souls on a verge of death or already deceased, often with unfinished violent business. They can be the spirits of murder victims or those who suffered great wrongs. They are known for their ability to traverse through walls and leave footprints, as they aren't bound to the physical limitation. They aren't bound to physical limitations. So wraiths they go through walls. They can leave they don't leave footprints. So they're like your ghosts that basically the sand won't work. You know, the little salt sand that we use in Phasmophobia? Yeah, that won't work. And currently on the screen, this is the EMF reader. This is just testing the level of energy for the ghost. Of course, a level 5 means that it's a level 5 ghost. And as you guys also are aware, that anything below that is just their level of energy initially. Alright, guys, let's move it on up. So, phantoms in folklore. Phantoms are fear-inducing entities that are possesses the living. They are often more malevolent than the typical spirit. Their deaths have may have been the result of foul play. Right? The idea of them being summonable via a Ouija board also aligns with the traditional spiritualism in the game. They drain sanity faster, and their form is often difficult to photograph clearly. So these little worms are hard to photograph, and normally it's due to foul play that these phantoms come about, right? Alrighty, so let's go ahead and push on. Poltergeist. Have you guys seen the movie Poltergeist? It's one of my favorite horror movies. It's so amazing. But Poltergeist, meaning noisy ghost. In German, poltergeists are best known for causing physical disturbances, moving, throwing, destroying objects, making loud noises. Folklore often attributes their activity to the presence of adolescents, though in Phasmophobia, their origins are generally tied to individuals who were wrongfully killed. They thrive on chaos and can significantly drain sanity through their object throwing antics. So there's occasionally when my experience with Phasmophobia, obviously with Phasmophobia, just because you see someone throwing a ghost or spirit throwing something around doesn't necessarily mean it's a poltergeist. So keep that in mind. Like what makes Phasmophobia, at least what's interest like what really makes it interesting for me is when you go in the house, though the house is the same, the ghost may not be. And though you might get a couple ghosts that are throwing stuff around, it does not always mean it's a poltergeist. You know what I mean? So I like how you never know what you're gonna get. Literally a box of chocolates, right? I love that fact about Phasmophobia. That actually makes me want to play it more because I think with all the trophies, there's a few. Obviously, I've got a lot of ghosts wrong incorrectly, but there are trophies that I've gotten ghosts right, and sometimes I can get them back to back, and sometimes it's just not. Especially with the challenge recently. Side note, guys. Side notes. There was a recent challenge that I'm trying to do now, where basically they're not going to give me any type of evidence on the ghost. Go check it out if you have Phasmophobia. I don't know if it's difference between regions, but on my PlayStation 5, the current challenge, I have about 6 days to complete it, where you have to not only identify the ghost correctly, but they won't leave a lot of evidence. That's a challenge in itself because the evidence is really the only way for you to figure out what ghost it is. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not at that point where I know the little in and outs of ghosts like that. Like I'm gonna have to really study. That's why when I get something wrong, I go back and read the journal and I compare it to what I experienced. But sometimes that doesn't work either. So I like a good challenge. So let's go ahead and move on from Poltergeist. Banshees. Originating from Irish folklore, banshees were traditionally female spirits, kenners, who wailed or sang sorrowful songs to lamentate someone's death, often as an omen of death, for a particular family. In Phasmophobia, they are known for targeting a single individual, stalking them before attacking. The game's lore suggests they were once women who become banshees due to perceived sins or betrayals. So, yes, so banshees are from Irish folklore, and we've all experienced. They're normally beautiful, white hair, normally have some type of nightgown or white dress, and they like I said, they're normally really beautiful, like a palish skin. And of course, I'll try to put images up too. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If I can't find an image, there won't be one. Sometimes it's hard to find old photos of these ghosts and entities, but sometimes it's hard to find really decent photos of what they're supposed to look like in general. So if there's not a photo, guys, letting you know ahead of time, there won't be one. Okay? So don't be like, where's the photo? It's not there. So yeah, so those were banshees are. They're normally very beautiful, white hair, white dress, um and they scream, they're loud, they're very vocal. In Phasmophobia, I've countered a banshee before. They're not as vocal as I thought they would be. I thought they were like like have this big lavish yell or scream. Not really. Don't get me wrong. They make noise. They talk. They kind of scream, but it's not like heart wrenching fear. And that's what I hope when it comes to these updates. Devs, please make it more scary. There are moments where they catch me. There was a child ghost that was crawling on the floor. We know we don't play with children, okay? We don't play with any kind of children, okay? So any type of child or creature or entity or demon crawling on the floor, no, 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 no. We all saw The Grudge, okay? We all saw Samara. No, thank you. So I just wanted to bring more inducing fear, especially when like a banshee, make them scream, make sure we know we're about to get our butt chopped off. Okay, I want that inducing scary game that I do feel like Demonology do a little bit better. Just saying. All right, let's move on, guys. From Banshee, um, Mare. Mare is a Salvic in Salvic folklore. Hopefully, I pronounced these correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. I apologize. In Salvic folklore, a mare is often depicted as a female spirit, another female, sometimes a former fiance betrayed by her lover, who attacks people in their sleep, causing nightmares and sleep paralysis. I cannot pronounce that to save my life. You know what I'm trying to say. In Phasmophobia, they are literally the source of all nightmares and are the strongest in the dark, tended to turn off lights frequently. See, believe it or not, guys, just imagine, just from the few that we've read, of how many different character models we could have got. We've already got 2 female character models that would have been really freaking cool. And what if, like, honestly, we couldn't really do much. Like someone like one of like it's a 4-player game, right? And yes, you can play single player. So single player will be a tad bit hard. But like say for hypothetically, the mechanic for Mare and Phasmophobia, what they could have done is, hey, go to sleep and have the cameras on your teammate and they go to sleep, and then that's how you basically initially capture the Mare, get the Mare, do what you got to do with the Mare, you know what I mean? Like they could have added so many really unique game mechanics, especially since it is a multiplayer game, that would have been really cool, not just with the character models and the voices and things like that. They could have really spiced this game up. And then also too, going back to, honestly, with the families just disappeared. That most houses look like they're lived in, excluding the asylums and stuff like that. They look like they were lived in. Why don't we get like footage of families and we looking at them in their sleep and then something happens, like kind of like a what is that movie? I know the movie, guys, and it's like a VHS type movie. I know it. It's on a. I'll think of it and I'll put a picture up there. But basically, initially, like, we get information before we enter this house. Not the little bit we get on the box or the little bit we get on the board. We actually talk to the people, interact with the families, get their feelings, get their fear. It could be so much, like, detailed and amazing and really realistic if they did that. And honestly, I really want that. That sounds like a really freaking cool game. Devs, please. All right, let's move on from there. All right. Revenants. The term revenant comes from Old French word revenant, meaning returning. In folklore, a revenant is an animated corpse or ghosts believed to have returned from death to haunt the living, often for revenge or unfinished business. They are typically slow moving, but increasingly fast when they spot their prey, making them one of the most dangerous ghost types if you get caught in a hunt. So revenants, what they could have done, especially since it's like a basically it's a corpse. You could like there's a image I'll put on there of basically of what it could be. So that could be already that character model was perfect. Um, if they wanted to go a lot further, they could have. They really honestly could have. But hey, like we already went down that road. But that's what revenants are. That's the folklore of revenants. Shades. In Greek mythology, Greek, most of the dead become shades, living in the underworld. They are often depicted as silent, shadowy figures and are genuinely less aggressive. In Phasmophobia, shades are shy ghosts, less likely to interact or hunt if multiple players are nearby, and often appear as misty or shadowy forms during ghost events. So shades are your shy boys. They're your quiet babies. They're the ones that stand in the corner and watch everybody else kind of do the hula dance. Those are your shades, and it's from Greek. That's really interesting. Yuris, a term formed from Japanese folklore. Ooh, Japan. Yurei are ghosts that have been separated from a peaceful afterlife, often due to a sudden or violent death, unfulfilled revenge, or strong emotional attachments. They are known for their strong sanity draining abilities and their tendency to wander. In game, they can have a significant impact on player sanity and can fully shut doors. I've encountered a few Yuris, and from my experience, they were very quick of closing the door. Very quick. They were like, "You're not getting out. I'm sorry." So I really think that's cool. I feel like with a lot of these Japanese demons, they could have really did some unique, almost like Fatal Frame experience type ghosts. Like obviously, don't copy, please, guys, don't copy. And Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterflies coming soon, guys. But they could have really added some really cool. That's why I said they should have added like a Japanese, like an old traditional Japanese home, right? And really gave us these Japanese demons in their place of death or home or graveyard or temple. It would have been really freaking cool. Like there's so much. Like we already got a prison and campsites and a sane asylum. Why can't we just do a traditional Japanese home? Like it would have been so really cool. Who knows? They could be doing it. I'm not doubting you devs. I know y'all can do it. I know you guys can make it happen, okay? I know you can. So let's move on from Yuri's. Maylings. Maylings in Scandinavian folklore are often ghosts of unbaptized children. Yeah. Often left to die in the wilderness. That's horrible. They are usually described as crying or wailing and are sometimes said to latch onto travelers. In Phasmophobia, Maylings are characterized by their stealthy hunts. Their footsteps are significantly quieter, making them hard to pinpoint until they are very close. So, I've believe I encountered a Mayling before. I'm not completely 1000%. There is a child, a child silhouette that they've created. But I know they kind of, like I said, the ghost silhouettes are just random. I truly believe that. I could be wrong. Could be a 1000% wrong about that. But I do feel like they're generalized. But just imagine if we get a story right of a traveler and he bought this home and a child latched onto him or multiple children attached themselves to him and he's telling us, hey, I went to this mountain to explore, blah blah blah, and there was like a whole bunch of gravestones of dead children that died, unfortunately back in the 1980s, 1970s. And then next you know his house is full of dead children. You know, like that would be so scary. And the fact that they're quieter, they can tiptoe, they can be playing, they can be laughing in the background, they can make you paranoid. Like Phasmophobia have so much potential with these ghosts. That's so exciting that I hope they do. Obviously, you don't want to overstem your fan base. You don't want to overstem the gaming community. But a lot of us gamers, like horror gamers, like horror gamers, me, we want that stuff. We want to see authentic ghosts and they're authentic with story and lore and unique character models. Like we want that stuff. Like let me know in the comments, guys. Do you want that? Because I know I want that. So let's go on. But Maylings would be so cool if they had like a whole bunch of little ghost children everywhere. That would be really dope. Scary to see and experience, especially by yourself. Like I don't get a chance to play multiplayer often, but I can't wait till I get my team. Oh yeah, guys, watch out for that video. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming, and I can't wait. Goryo is the next one. Goryo is another Japanese ghost, another Japanese folklore ghost. Goryos are vengeful spirits of aristocratic warriors who died in unjustifiably and caused natural disasters or other misfortunes. In Phasmophobia, Goryos are shy and most likely stationary ghosts, preferring to stay in their ghost room and only showing on dots. Dots projectors, what you see on the camera now in front of the car, is the little dots that make my eyes go crazy. Um, Evidence through a camera when no players are nearby. So basically, they kind of really downplayed this ghost a lot. I'm sorry, Debs, you really did. You, once again, a Japanese style home, and if you didn't want to, can we please make them more? Just imagine if we saw a warrior type ghost in the home. That will be terrified, pretending like we could think it's a mannequin, but it's not. Like, you know how terrified that would be? Oh my gosh. Like Phasmophobias. We need to up there. There were warriors. And natural disasters, it could have been that we could have did it to where the environment around us is crumbling or the windows are breaking, the doors are falling off. Like, come on now. Like we could have really hooked these ghosts up to make these ghosts not, you know what I mean, make it hard, challenging, even when it comes to foreplay. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I've died a lot in this game, so it's not easy. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's just it could have been so much more, and I hope it does. I can't wait to get the update, guys. Allegedly update. I hope there is. All right, let's go on. Let's move on. A Hantu. A Hantu. This ghost type draws from Malay. Malay. I probably pronounced that wrong. Sorry, guys. An Indonesia folklore. So now we're in Indonesia. Folklore, where Hantu is a general term for various spirits or ghosts. In Phasmophobia, the Hantu is associated with cold. It moves faster in colder temperatures will actively try to turn off the breaker. If the power is off during a hunt, you might see ghost breaths from them. So I've encountered a Hantu. It was a challenge in Phasmophobia. I was at the campsite. It was a get three right, and it was snowing outside. And believe it or not, two ghosts in a row were Hantus. Believe it or not. And I can definitely agree with the whole haunting thing. And believe it or not, it kept staying by the front gate. That was the first time I experienced it. Um, but that's all it was doing. It was initially just standing by the gate, but it looked like a skeleton figure. It was nothing really unique about the character model that was, you know, but it scared me though. Like I didn't expect it, and I was kind of like, "Woo," you know what I mean? But yeah, I've experienced a Hantu. At least I remember experiencing a Hantu. And yes, cold temperatures is definitely correct. And it wasn't really aggressive in the sense of it kept closing the gates on me, kept throwing my journal everywhere. But that's about it. um, so I believe Alrighty, and that's the end of the goals for this video. I don't know how many they're gonna be. Like I said, I'm gonna split them up so it's not all the ghosts in one video. But I hope you enjoyed this little information or information dump on all this, or for the first part of the Phasmophobia lore. And the ghosts, behind the scenes on the ghosts, and their lore and things like that. I definitely hope you enjoyed it. And please, guys, once again, my live videos of Phasmophobia is out. Please go check them out. I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, guys, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Once again, guys, I am Silentpinkgamer, and I'll see you guys all soon. Bye.